Hi, my name is Jennifer. In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply two binomials together. So grab a pencil and some paper and work these problems with me. Take a look at this first example. We have the binomial x plus 5 times the binomial x minus 3. So the point of this problem is that we're going to take both terms in the first binomial and multiply them by both terms in the second binomial. We're going to do 4 separate multiplication problems, and then we're going to collect like terms to get down to our answer. So follow along. I'm going to start with this x, and we are going to multiply it to the first term in the second binomial. X times x is x squared. Next, I'm going to stay with this term x. I'm going to multiply it by the second term in the second binomial. If it helps, you may want to draw a line connecting those two. X times -3 is a -3x. Now we're going to move to this positive 5. We're going to multiply the positive 5 times the x, and we're going to multiply the positive 5 times the -3. So follow along. Positive 5 times x is a positive 5x, and positive 5 times a -3 is a -15. Before we can say our answer is complete, we need to check 2 things. We first need to make sure that we have collected any like terms. A like term is if we have 2 or more terms that have the same variable and the same exponent. If so, we need to combine the coefficients. If we look closely, we only have one x squared, but we have 2 terms that have an x with no exponent. So we're going to add those 2 coefficients together. -3x plus 5x is 2x. Now I said we need to check for 2 things. The second thing is we need to make sure our answer stays in descending order. Descending order is the order that the exponents need to be in. We're going to start with the highest exponent, and we're going to count all the way down. 2x has an exponent of a 1. It's not our highest exponent. We had an x squared, so this one is actually going to go first. Because -3x plus 5 is a positive 2x, we're going to put that positive sign in front of the 2, and it's now going to act like a plus sign. Next, we have nothing to combine with the -15, and so it's going to stay as a -15. So the answer to this multiplication problem is x squared plus 2x minus 15. Let's look at this next example. We have the binomial 3x minus 2 times the binomial 5x plus 1. Now our purpose is going to be the same. We're going to take both terms in the first binomial, multiply them by both terms in the second binomial. We're actually going to do 4 separate multiplication problems and then put it all together. So let's begin. 3x times 5x is a 15x squared. Next, we're going to take 3x again, and we're going to multiply it by the positive 1 from the second binomial. 3x times positive 1 is a positive 3x. Now we're ready to start with the second term of the first binomial, which is a negative 2. Negative 2 times 5x is a negative 10x. And negative 2 times positive 1 is a negative 2. Now, before we can say this is our answer, remember we have two things that we need to check. First, we need to check if we have any like terms that we can combine. Okay, we have 15x squared, and there's no other term that also has an x squared. So we're going to move on. We have positive 3x, and notice right after it, it's a minus 10x. Because both of those numbers, both of those terms have an x as a variable without an exponent, we can combine those two together. So a positive 3x minus 10x together is a minus 7x. The second thing we need to check is we need to make sure our answer is in descending order. An x to the first power, this is not the highest exponent. 15x squared needs to come first. Then we can put our negative 7x, and then last we can put our minus 2. So the answer to this multiplication problem is 15x squared minus 7x minus 2. Let's take a look at another problem. In this problem, we have the binomial 6x plus 1 times 6x minus 1. Let's multiply these two. We're going to first multiply the first term times the first term. 6x times 6x is a 36x squared. Next, we're going to multiply 6x times negative 1. That's going to give us a negative 6x. Okay. Now we're ready to multiply by this positive 1. We're going to multiply again twice with the second binomial. Positive 1 times 6x is positive 6x. Positive 1 times negative 1 is a negative 1. Okay. Now before we can declare our answer, we have two things we need to check. We're going to collect for like terms, and we're going to keep our answer in descending order. We already know that 36x squared, we can move that down to our answer line because it does have the highest degree of a 2. Notice what happens here to our middle terms. We have a minus 6x and we have a plus 6x. That is a 0. We do not have to put the 0 here. We can skip that term and go on with our minus 1. So the answer to this multiplication problem is 36x squared minus 1. Take a look at this final problem. Occasionally you may see a problem in your textbook that looks something like this. The binomial 2x plus 5 quantity squared. This is when you have the set of parentheses and the exponent is on the outside of the parentheses. This may look confusing at first, but let me show you what this actually means. Anytime we have something squared, is something is being multiplied times itself. In this case, it's a binomial times itself. So what this problem really is going to look like is 2x plus 5 times itself which is 2x plus 5. And then from here, you can go ahead and multiply. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times a positive 5 is a positive 10x. Now we're ready to move on to this positive 5. We're going to multiply positive 5 times 2x to get another positive 10x. And then we'll multiply the positive 5 times the positive 5 to get positive 25. Now we'll go through the same steps before we can have an answer. We'll put this in descending order and we'll collect like terms. You may already notice that we have two terms that have a variable of an x. We're going to combine positive 10x plus 10x to be a positive 20x. So we're going to keep 4x squared has our highest degree, so it's going to go first, plus 20x plus 25. So the answer to this multiplication problem is 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. Now, if you still have questions about this topic, please contact your professor or stop by the Math Tutoring Lab or watch this video again.